think what's probably most important is that you understand the fact that you need to do some level of improvement, and then you work out how to best deliver that. So I think it depends on the organisation in terms of which approach you take in terms of continuous improvement or large digital change. I think it depends on the size of the challenge. I think it depends how much budget you have and how many resources you have. All of those approaches have different risks and issues, and as long as you know them and acknowledge them and manage them, then there's no right or wrong answer. It's about 5 years ago. There was a large digital change program in place. And the reality is that it was sucking up all resources, and it was too big, too laborious, and not much was being achieved. So one of the first things I had to do was stop this express train which was rattling through Merlin, find it a station, and begin to break it up into compartments, and make sure that we could then deliver each element. So for me, I think it's continuous improvement. However, it's continuous improvement with a very clear vision and direction as to what you're trying to achieve within a digital transformation. So I've been a CIO now for 10, 12 years, and the role of the CIO has changed radically in that time. I think we have gone from being technology suppliers to the organisation, usually reporting into a CFO, to now being a equal business partner with a seat at the table, and we are much more commercially sound than we ever have been. And that's great news for technologists. So if I look at my role now, I mean, I in the last 2 years have become the head of something called Merlin Digital. And Merlin Digital brings together the best of marketing with the best of technology and innovation, brings them together to focus on online revenues and web-based activity. So I'm accountable for all of the commercial activity related to our digital platforms, whether that's e-commerce, online sales, whether it's our trade business, which is kind of business-to-business e-commerce, so selling through partners like Viator or Expedia, whether it's online bookings in our hotels, or whether it's our Merlin Annual Pass loyalty scheme. Technology is driving change throughout all of those key business areas. So yes, the role of the CIO is changing radically, and that's a good thing.
CIO's greatest challenge. I think the greatest challenge is making sure that we are perceived as a business partner, and we bring our commerciality and our leadership skills to the table. I think too often historically, technology is seen as a supplier to the organization. That's not true anymore. Emerging technologies, as we've discussed, I think bring new opportunities, and so therefore we need to own that kind of business partner role. I think another challenge would be trying to develop an organization that is comfortable with innovation, and comfortable with change, and comfortable that occasionally some investments might not work, as long as they're not too big, and that you have that opportunity to trial out emerging technologies. And then for me, actually, it's one of the biggest challenges I have is finding really good, talented resources across the globe. So we do a lot of work in China, and finding smart project managers or smart technologists is difficult. The same in the US and the same in the UK, namely because there's high employment in those areas. So it's finding that opportunity and that vision which excites people to want to join organizations like Merlin Entertainments. So I think for the first 2 years of my time at Merlin, it was all about legacy systems. It was all about getting the foundations and getting the basics right. Because otherwise you're just sprinkling kind of glitter on top of no foundation. So getting the foundations right was absolutely critical. And they were legacy systems. And you take a view as to whether those legacy systems are fit for purpose. So we looked at our e-commerce systems, we looked at our admission systems into our parks and attractions, we looked at our finance systems, and we had to make sure that they were fit for purpose. So I think my sense is get that right first, and then that gives you the space and the time to then begin to look at new and developing technologies.